Now that you've nursed the chocobo back to health, why not take him for a ride? You can explore the wildlands together.
Everyone is very excited that you found the Angel of Valhalla. I want to thank you on behalf of Canopus Farms.
Why would they be excited? According to your own legends, it's an evil omen.
Aye, that's true enough. Some people even call it the harbinger of death. But even so, we don't fear it. We already know this world is about to be swallowed up by the chaos. But the thing is, when that happens, we believe that we'll be reunited with our loved ones who passed before. The end will be terrible, but there's hope on the other side.
So that's the Wildlands religion.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it a religion, but yeah, we don't follow the city folk beliefs. They think that a messenger from God called the Savior will appear out of nowhere. Then this Savior is going to take them to a new promised land. Now, I'm not one to judge other people's beliefs, but personally, it just sounds like wishful thinking. But then, I suppose the folk praying in the Order's churches don't put much stock in our beliefs either. That's fine with me. I've always said everyone's entitled to believe what they want. I just hope everyone gets what they're looking for in the end. And for us, that just means being with our families again.
Oh, right. You wanted some greens, didn't you? You can borrow my field if you like, to grow some of your own.
I'm not a farmer.
You'll soon get the hang of it. You just need dirt, which I've got. And we've got the fertilizer that Father found. There you go. Can you see? The spots where I spread the fertilizer. Just plant seeds there and gazelle greens will sprout thick as weeds. Here, I'll give you your first seeds. The better the fertilizer, the more greens you can grow. Go find some and bring it back here.
So this is it, a Yeul's flower. They tell me this will make you strong. Here, eat it. Well, looks like it works. Nadia's the one who told me about the flower, and she's anxious to see you. Let's go to Jagd and thank her in person.
Hey, hello there, friend. You know about fuzzy sheep milk? It's fine stuff, that's for sure. We feed it to our chocobos. It makes them strong. I tell you though, it's really hard to get the quality stuff. The best place I know to find some is over at Aryas Village.
Oh, it's all over for me.
Nadia, are you all right? What happened?
Que? Is that all you can say? Oh, darn. I guess it didn't work.
You were just pretending to be sick? Why would you do that?
Well, it's kind of an embarrassing story, but we're friends now, aren't we? I used to live in Yusnan, but I had a big falling out with my family, and I ran away from home. Back in the city, I was treated like a princess. I just had to snap my fingers to get whatever I wanted. But that's not real living, is it? I got tired of that life. I wanted to fend for myself, survive by my own skill.
But you didn't realize just how hard that would be.
I lasted 3 whole days before I collapsed in the woods, weak from thirst. And that's when this little guy came along just in time. He must have been injured too, because he was holding a Yeul's flower in his beak. I thought to myself, I'm going to die, but at least I'll have this beautiful chocobo to watch over me as I go. But then, something even more incredible and beautiful happened. The chocobo spoke to me, as clear as I'm talking to you now. Hang in there, he said. You mustn't die. At first, all I could do was stare in shock. But then, his words began to sink in. I realized he was trying to save my life. Anyway, right after that, some villagers found me, and they nursed me back to health. But I'm sure that I wouldn't have been alive when they found me if it wasn't for my little chocobo.
Ah, you owe him your life.
Crack.
So that's what your little play acting was about. You thought if you could convince the chocobo that you were dying, he might start talking to you again, like he did the first time.
Yep. I was trying to recreate the scene just like it happened, with the Yeul's flower in the beak and everything. And to be honest, I could do with a chocobo giving me encouragement again. Life has been getting me down. I thought if I could hear the chocobo talk again, he might cheer me up like the last time. I know it's stupid. Chocobos can't talk. Oh, I guess it was just in my head that first time.
It's all right. You'll find what you're looking for.
What?
Don't turn around. You're searching for meaning to your life, and you're going to find it. I know you will. In fact, maybe you already have, if you really, really think about it. Sometimes you lose your way. Sometimes the going gets so steep you fall, but the path is always there in front of you. You just have to keep going.
Yes, you're right. It is there, and I do see it. Thank you.
Yes, what do you want?
I heard the chocobo talk. You're going to find it. I know you will. Huh. That was a clever trick you pulled, young man.
Young man, I'm a girl.
You are? Sorry, I didn't realize.
Good grief, everyone's the same. No one ever looks at me. It's like when I helped Nadia. The first time, I mean. She saw the chocobo, but she didn't see me on its back.
Aha. So that's what happened. It was you who spoke to her. She was half dead and delirious, so she thought it was the chocobo.
She's read way too many fairy tale books. But I guess it was kind of good it happened that way. Thanks to that, she wanted to go on living. So you can't tell Nadia the truth, okay?
Okay, agreed. What you did was good, pretending to be a chocobo and saying those things to her. She needed that. Wise words. Sometimes the going gets so steep you fall, but the path is always there in front of you.
Huh? I didn't say anything like that. What does it even mean? I just told her it's all right, or something like that.
Wait, really? You didn't give a little speech?
No, weird. Maybe you both imagined it. Or maybe they can talk.
Thanks for everything. I've only been in this village for a short time, and before that, I'd spent my whole life in the city. I haven't been able to help anyone. Just the opposite. I've been nothing but a burden, and so I lost a lot of my confidence.
But now that confidence is back, right?
Thanks to you, and the chocobo.
Has the chocobo talked again since that time?
No, not a word. Why do you ask?
I was there when it spoke the second time. I heard it just like you, and I still find it hard to believe.
I know. It still seems so incredible. Most people would just assume it's their imagination, or a trick.
But you believe it was the chocobo.
You know, I don't think I care. Even if it was a trick, the words were the same, right? Whoever said them meant to help me. Talking chocobo or not, that means someone is looking over me, and they care about me too. That much is true, if nothing else is. It took a little while to realize that, but once I did, I felt a lot better.
And, you know, it sounds like they were right, too. They said, you're searching for meaning to your life, and you're gonna find it. I know you will. Turned out they were right. And that much is true, too.
It's a crying shame. Poor Cole. He loved his wife, he did. As long as Sarala takes over the field, I'll be okay. In the wildlands, survival is about doing your job. I'll take Gasol greens over Tantal greens any day.
Tantal?
Tantal greens. The folk over at the Chaos Research Camp grow them. They're a fine legume, but not as good as Gasol greens, in my opinion. But pay them a visit, if you're interested.
Welcome to our village. Aryas is its name, and it's home to the finest sheep in the wildlands. You haven't heard of our sheep? Well, that's all right, I suppose. Not everyone has. If there's anything you want to know, about sheep or otherwise, you just ask me. Except, I charge a fee for every question. But I guess I could offer you a special deal. 1 million gil. How does that sound? If you don't like it, then scram! It's a joke, sweetie. I do it to all our visitors. It makes them feel like part of the Aryas family.
Ah, mademoiselle. Might I have a word? I consider myself an expert in the culinary arts. That's cooking food to you. But I have not been able to practice my true skill these many years. My master taught me his greatest recipes, but together we only made them but one time. Now the world stands on the edge of destruction, and I fear I will never make them again.
I'd like to help, but about the only dish I can cook is behemoth steak on a campfire.
What I need is much simpler than that. I require only a few small but vital ingredients.
Which you can't find.
Exactement. Especially in this day and age.
All right, if I find any, I'll bring them to you.
Mademoiselle, merci beaucoup. With those ingredients, I'll once again be able to craft the masterpieces of my forebears.
So you're the new kid I've been hearing about, huh? Whoa, that's a mighty grand weapon you have there. Do you really know how to use it? The reason we buy soul seeds off seed hunters is because there are people with very deep pockets who buy them from us. They're interested in the seeds and nothing else. That's why I'll buy whatever you got. You can make a lot of money in this business, I tell you. Hey, I've got a story I want to share with you. Long ago, there was a blacksmith who had a dream. He wanted to make a blade using soul seeds. Want me to tell you how that turned out? He managed to create something amazing, all right, but it had a life of its own. The first thing it did was slay its creator. Then it disappeared to God knows where. This magical blade was dubbed the Ultima Weapon. They say its blade glows with crimson stained by the blood of all the men it's slain.
Wait! Oh, blast your fuzzy hides! Where are you going? Come back, please! This is a calamity! What shall I do? What shall I do?
Having some trouble?
Trouble? I'd say. Some of my flock has fled. They've never done this before. What set them off? And of all the times for it to happen, a disaster, I say.
Let me get this straight. It's my fault your sheep ran off, and so it's my job to bring them back?
Well, I realize you meant no harm, of course, but yes, if you're volunteering, please bring my sheep back.
Well, what do they look like?
3 in total, and you'll know them when you see them. They were raised on my own patented formula and grow much larger than normal sheep. It will be a simple matter to give them a scare and drive them back home where they belong. Do this for me and I will be most grateful, and I will offer you a special reward as thanks.
I'll look forward to it.
You should, because it will be in the form of my world-famous fuzzy sheep milk. It's no ordinary milk, let me tell you. Packed with nutrients, creamy and delightful it is. And with 3 sheep, there'll be a lot of it.
is still missing one of his flock. Look, that's his. That big one over there.
That's the last of them.
On behalf of my sheep, I thank you. As promised, I present you with my sheep milk, the likes of which you won't find anywhere else. Just have to milk them. Hang on. There you go. Go on, take it. It's all for you. I tell you, if you hadn't found them, it would have been years of research down the drain.
Okay, so you're a scientist then, not just a sheep farmer?
Yes, exactly. Sheep's milk. That's my specialty. I carefully selected wild specimens and bred them for generations. I fed them a special formula I've refined over the decades, caring for them night and day. At long last, I had the fine, creamy milk I sought. And now I have the inestimable honor presenting the fruit of my labor to you, the one chosen by the Angel of Valhalla.
Chosen by the angel, huh? So, what makes you think that's me?
Oh, I can put two and two together easily enough. The reports of a white chocobo, the growing tide of chaos and monsters, all are clear signs that the end of the world is upon us. Not only that, amidst all the portents, I hear rumors of a young woman warrior with rose-colored hair, a description that matches that of the white chocobo's master in some of the tales. And just as I was pondering that, you show up. Why, it had to be destiny.
It could be a lot of things, but you believe what you want.
Oh, I will. I have long known that the milk I made here would change the fate of the world. You are the one chosen by the angel. You changed the world with every encounter, with every decision. Our meeting here was no accident.
What is it? You're getting better. Good. I'm happy to hear it.
I'm glad you could help the chocobo. Well done, Light. So, what do you say? Why don't you saddle up and head for Rocky Crag?
Right. I need to know more about what's behind the story of the Great Chaos. And that means checking out that temple.
In the foothills near the temple is an isolated settlement called Polta. It's inhabited by disciples of the goddess Etro.
A whole village of heretics who've turned their backs on the Order.
Heretics they may be, but they aren't fanatics. They fled from persecution in the city. They only want to be left alone.
Then, I don't think they'll appreciate a stranger dropping by.
Well, you won't know until you go. Polta lies at the edge of Rocky Crag. Light, I've been measuring your chocobo's recovery. He's coming along well. He can leap further and higher than before. This means you'll be able to explore more areas of the wildlands. The chocobo can now catch the wind when he jumps. You'll be able to reach more places than you could before. I think if his recovery continues, he'll be able to take you up that cliff and into the temple of the goddess.
That's very interesting looking fruit growing over there. I'd like to go and pick some for myself, but I don't see any way to get up this cliff.
Yeul's flowers are still blooming here.